Never underestimate the importance of fresh line. And make sure, when you're taking the line off, make sure you turn your dial down a little bit, otherwise you're gonna end up with a nasty backlash. You don't have to change your line every tournament, every practice, but it's important to be aware of what your line's going through. If you're fishing on a lot of trees, timber, rocks, maybe it's just the last 10 feet, that need to be replaced or cut off. But the last thing you wanna do is leave this line on your spool for a long time. It gets old, it gets a little bit of memory, and then you're casting, you've got those little coils, and if you got those little coils and you're going to move your bait and a fish hits, you might not feel it because you don't have direct contact with your bait. Now with any reel, whether it's a spinning reel, whether it's a bait caster, always leave a little bit of backing. There's no sense in wasting extra money. I mean, good line, it costs some money, so might as well save some money. I'm always throwing sunline, whether it's sniper, whether it's the FX1, 2 braid, or whether it's the supernatural for fishing topwater. That's what I'm fishing. I'm fishing sunline. And might as well save yourself a couple bucks and have good backing. Especially important when you're throwing braid, because if you just put straight braid on a spinning reel, all it's going to do is spin. You've got to have a monofilament or a fluorocarbon, and that kind of locks that down. Otherwise, that braid's just going to free spin. So the first thing when you're relining is you tie just a simple line-to-line knot. It doesn't need to be a really strong knot. All it needs to do is hold when you just give it a little tug, because you're going to want to bury that line in your spool, that knot in your spool. You want to make sure that knot is in the center of your spool. It helps with keeping your line even, whether it's a bait caster or whether it's a spinning reel. If that line knot is in the corner, it's going to keep your line uneven and it's just not going to end up good. The next thing you want to do is grab something like a pencil, screwdriver, pen, whatever. I just put it between my feet, pretty simple. And with this, if nobody's holding it for you, it is free spooling. So you want to make sure you keep a little bit of pressure. These are my two fingers here. That's what I'm applying pressure with. That's what's going to get that line smooth on your reel, as opposed to if nobody's holding it, like the spool down there, and you weren't putting pressure here, you're going to have a mess. The line's going to be loose on your reel and not good for anybody.